Hey, everybody. And thank you so much for inviting me out to this amazing event. I cannot believe the amount of people that are on this call. You are really doing some incredible work gathering your community and just spreading the good word about zero waste. Starve the beast, right? Our incinerator here in Detroit we shut it down in 2019. It was one of the biggest and longest standing incinerators. It took 33 years of fighting. People were protesting this incinerator even before it was built. While it was under construction, folks were out there saying, we don't need this. This incinerator caused a lot of harms of my community. We have so many people here that have asthma and heart problems. High rates of hypertension and diabetes in this community already are exacerbated by all of the other problems. And even though we closed down the incinerator in 2019, those issues, the respiratory issues, the health problems that were caused by this incinerator still exist. So it is something that we have to be mindful of. No incinerator should be built again, because there's no place for an incinerator in our waste system. Especially when zero waste is the way. So we lost quite a lot of people in our community from COVID because of the respiratory issues that are continuing. Sorry, it's we lost 21 folks in just like a tiny little area here on the east side of the Detroit incinerator last year. And it's not right to have one facility that's going to harm so many people. When we shut the incinerator down in 2019, we were pushing for zero waste as well. There were a lot of folks that were trying to increase the recycling efforts here in Detroit. The moment that we found out, the day that we found out that this incinerator shut down was the same day that the workers found out that the incinerator shut down. So they also didn't know that they were going to lose their job that day. And the city of Detroit and our waste system wasn't built enough. It wasn't strong enough to absorb all of these waste workers into a zero waste system. We're still building it up into zero waste, but it's a lesson learned, right? That we need to keep increasing zero waste systems so that these folks have a just transition from their jobs from where they are right now in these more polluting facilities and get into a stronger, cleaner, better job for all of our communities. So I think, I'm not exactly sure what else folks want me to talk about, and I'm sure I can go into so much more. But it's something that there's so much to be fought here, right? Now that our incinerator shut down, our community has clean air. And the coolest thing about that, the most amazing thing about that, is that our neighbors were so passionate about shutting down this incinerator. They learned so much about air quality, right? So now anytime anything happens in this neighborhood, any new facility is going to be built, the first question that they're all asking, without me even having to be at this table or Breathe Free Detroit to be at their tables, is what about the air quality? What are we doing with the particulate matter that's going to be kicked up by idling trucks? And these folks have taken all of the knowledge of fighting an incinerator and brought it to this whole different level. And this area is now under, new development because it used to be the polluted area that nobody wanted to really move their family to. But now it's got clean air. And throughout the 33 years of that incinerator sitting there, we had so many homes burn down. We had so many businesses move out, so many neighbors leave, because it smelled over here, right? Folks tried to move in here, and we did our best to keep our community together, but it's hard when you go outside and it stinks. So once that incinerator shut down, now everybody wants to move in here, right? So I'm amazed at the Baltimore Community Land Trust, because you folks are far ahead of the game in making sure that the land stays with the community. We're now in this world of trying to protect the community members that have lived through the worst of the pollution, so that now they can stay and keep their families here through the best of this air quality. With that, we made a anti-gentrification guide called Rooted We Rise. I'll put the link in the chat so you all can see it. But it's there to help folks understand all of the amazing resources that are available so folks can stay in their homes. They can get help and assistance paying for utilities and getting out of foreclosures, and getting assistance in paying rent, and where you could find legal assistance, and what happens when you're harassed by the police, and all of the great resources that the ACLU experienced too, because police harassment came right at the same time that the incinerator is shutting down. And as this community starts to get more engaged with new development, police harassment is also increasing. So I'll make sure to include a copy of this Rooted We Rise guide into the chat. And thank you so much for having me here.